Show where they know sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go. Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show where they know sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go.
First down, touchdown, first down, touchdown, yeah. 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 Touchdown, yeah. Touchdown, yeah.
Great salutations.
Well, it's not necessarily a late version as we normally come to be, but nonetheless, hi, welcome. How are you? Welcome to number 152 of the Mizzle and Dub Show. He is Mizzle.
Wow,
I
I
am
was
Dub.
right. Sorry, on 150 was the last one. I told her we were at 150, 150. So, my bad.
No,
My apologies.
we're at 152. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What's
And
happening?
hello, Mr.
Davis?
Davidson. How are you, sir? Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Well, let's get into it of what we saw. Very rarely, certainly in this era of Golden State Warriors basketball has we'll get to that shortly. Very rarely have in this era that Steve Kerr has been the head coach. Very rarely has Dub Nation let out the Boo Birds, but it was really in full effect tonight as the New Orleans Pelicans thrashed them to the point of a 36-point blowout, which they led from start to finish. As the Pelicans go to 23-15 on the year, and the Warriors, I mean, as bad as it's been, the Warriors are only 3 games under 500. That's I guess if there's solace in anything, there's the solace in that they're 17-20. I mean, obviously, this is not the same team that they've been in years past. This is not the same championship formula that a lot of us have been used to seeing in years past. But I mean,
when they lose bad, though. Man, it's just bad when they lose.
Well, this really truly is the first time that they've gotten blown out in a really long time, because most of their losses is normally of the close. Okay, well, the last 2 losses were just pitiful. They got beat by 25. They got beat by 25 against the Raptors, and you get beat by 36 by the Pelicans. But I mean, most of their losses, it's normally close game. They just fade at the end, and then you finish this homestand going 2-5, which is rare for this basketball team. I don't know if you can have any positives, but I guess the one positive would be Moses Moody had 21 points off the bench. Trace Jackson Davis had 19 off the bench.
That kid's a stud.
He has been tremendous, but I mean, there's really not much to grasp from if you're the Warriors. Now, on the other side, I mean, the Pelicans got balanced scoring from everybody. Yes, Mr. Packer, I see you too. Zion had 19, Ingram had 13, Jones had 12, Valanciunas led the way with 21 for New Orleans, and CJ McCollum had 14. Murphy the third had 16 off the bench. Hawkins had 14 off the bench. Marshall had 12 off the bench. So, like I said, it was balanced scoring by the Pelicans, led from start to finish, and realistically, it's like for the Warriors. Well, where do you turn to, and who can you turn to? I guess would be the question. I mean, New Orleans shot almost 60% from the floor. They shot 57%. Shot 47% from 3-point range. Hit 19, almost hit half their threes. But then again, when you turn the ball over 17 times like the Warriors do, this is how you lose by 36 points, which has been
bad. Just horrible display of basketball.
Their largest lead the Raptors got in this game was 41. At one point in time, they led by 41 points.
Thank
I,
goodness I was watching Echo.
well, I was too busy doing the other side of the ball podcast, but I kept, looking back and forth. I'm just like, what's up, Warriors? And I mean, the game was nationally televised on ABC, and that was a
Ouch.
horrible performance to be on national TV and just to get waxed like that. Now, with that said, all praises due to the Raptors. I'm not
Yeah.
well them too last night, but to the Pelicans, all praises due because they just came out and just punched the Warriors in the mouth, and the Warriors had no plan. But like I said, even with all that, the Warriors are still just 3 games under 500. It's not like they have the Pistons record,
Do you have the
which is
feeling that? Do you have the feeling that they can turn that switch on like we normally say they would, or is it still like, what the hell is going on? Does Steve Kerr have to mix something up, or is it to the point to where it's time for the young fellas to start playing?
well, I've already said play the kids. I've been saying that. Um, okay, because right now you have 2 of your 2 guys that you can build around for the future. Once the 3 Wisemen retire in Clay, Steph, and
Indeed,
Draymond,
indeed.
you got 2 of them that's saying basically, I don't trust you right now. And I don't want to ask that question yet. Has Steve Kerr the lost the locker room? I mean, even with you being a 4-time championship head coach, I mean, sometimes your message does get lost. I don't know if we've come to that part yet, but I don't know if it was this game or it was the game they lost to Denver. And Joe Lacob, who rarely sits in press conferences, sat in at Steve Kerr's press conference to really hear what he had to say, which is very, very rare. I don't know. I don't think they can flip that switch. Yes, I know Draymond's coming back, but Draymond has to keep his composure. But Draymond has to keep his composure and not lose it. And teams are going to try to do everything they can to make him lose his temper, to get him
Yep.
suspended again.
Yep.
So I don't know. Something has to change. What that is, I don't know. But the Pelicans lay the smackdown 141 to 105. The rest of the action in tonight's NBA recap. The Celtics and Timberwolves played a fantastic game. Went into overtime. Celtics get the win by 7, 127 to 120. Tatum, 45 buckets to lead the Celtics, 35 for Jaylen Brown. These 2 together, they are special. They put up 80 of the Celtics 127. Holiday had 12, Horford had 9, White had 9, Hauser had 6, Corner had 8 off the bench, Pritchard had 3 off the bench for Minnesota. Edwards had 29 to lead Minnesota. KAT had 25. Alexander had 15. Anderson had 17. Reed had 19 off the bench. But the Celtics go to 29 and 8. Minnesota goes to 26 and 11 with the battle of the 2 best teams with the best records in their respective conferences. Round 1 goes to Boston, 127 to 120 in overtime. Kings beat the Hornets 123 to 98. It takes a lot of work, Mr. Davidson. Trust me. The Spurs beat the Pistons 130 to 108. Pacers beat the Wizards 112 to 104. Tough one for your Sixers. They lose in overtime to the Hawks 139 to 132. Thunder continue to roll. They beat the Heat 128 to 120. In overtime, the Bulls beat the Rockets 124 to 119, which makes Steve very happy. And the Jazz beat the Nuggets 124 to 111. So Utah gets their 19th win as Jordan Clarkson had 27 big ones for Utah, as Jokic had 6 assists. He was 4 shy of another triple-double. So that's the action in the NBA. Oh, and the Clippers beat the Raptors 126 to 120. So that's your recap in the association. Now, the Black Week. I mean, it started with Black Monday, but now Black Week continues in the NFL. So far, we
We
knew
also have
that Riverboat
we have some
River.
Facebook comments. This one comes from
Oh,
my
wait a minute.
uncle out in LA. He says, Doug, you can't compare the Warriors to the Pistons. One team has future Hall of Famers, and the other has a bunch of young players trying to learn how to win. Also, a comment, he said he can smell the Warriors stink all the way down in Southern California.
Well, when I say that, I'm talking about record wise, not team roster wise. Is what I'm talking about. That um, if he continues to have seasons like he's having, Jordan, he possibly could work his way into that category. Because as
I'm
my co-host said,
biased.
as my
It's
as my
indeed.
co-host says, he gets up out of the bed and gets triple double all the time.
I mean, he brushes
But
his teeth with a
however,
triple in his pocket.
well, him and Luka Doncic are the same thing. But
Indeed.
it I, as far as just agile big man, right now it's down to him and Embiid. They're the two best agile big man in today's game by far, without question. Um,
Mhm.
you can throw AD in there when he's not tearing his inner part. The last few MVPs have been big men. Giannis,
Well,
then Jokic, and then last year Embiid. Oh, he's in the conversation. Trust me, he is in the conversation by far.
oh well, you can Luke. Like I said, Jokic
Well,
is one
no,
A. Luca is one
no,
B when it comes to walking off the bed with a triple double.
yeah, but I mean, but then again, we didn't see seven shooters shoot. We did not see 7-footers shooting like that consistently until Dirk got into the league in the
Indeed.
late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, Arvydas Sabonis came into the NBA today because Arvydas Sabonis was a big man that could pass and could
Okay.
shoot and could shoot
Oh.
the three. It's just by the
Oh.
time he got to the NBA, his legs and his feet were bad. But if you watch his early Lithuania tapes, and he was
Yes.
teammates with a favorite warrior of ours named Sarunas Marciulionis, Arvydas
Indeed.
Sabonis could shoot the rock for a big man. And
Well,
that's why
just take
Shaq
a
couldn't
just
stand, and that's why Shaq couldn't stand playing against him, because Shaq could be in the paint because he had to come out and block that jump shot.
yes, indeed. And then he
As you were
developed that
saying,
pump
sir.
fake.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Sabonis developed that pump fake, and then you should drive by you. But just look at his son. That's almost how Arvidas played, just like his son with the Kings.
Yeah. Diamantis, who also can get triple doubles. I mean, not as consistent as
Have one the other
Luca.
night.
And yeah, he did. I mean, he's not as consistent as getting every game like Luca and
Jokic.
Jokic, but Diamantis
They get
Sabonis can also be that guy and can mess around and get one because he is very athletic. Not the best shooter like his dad,
yeah.
but as far as getting rebounds and passing, he is just like his
His
dad
mid range
Arvidas.
is okay. His mid range is all right.
No, he's
In
got a good
between.
mid range, but I mean, he doesn't have the range like his dad did for
No,
sure.
no, not at all. Not at all. Or Vitas can shoot behind the free throw line and maybe get a couple threes here or there and step into his jumper a little bit. But yeah, definitely his son doesn't have it.
So continuing, what's going on
Ah,
here?
he continues to play basketball the way he is.
Whoa!
I did pick him to be an MVP. I did. If he continues, he is in the right now. He is in my top three as an MVP. I believe I did say this on one of our previous show. Dub, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I said Jokic, Embiid, and him right now are my top three for if the season would to end, which we know, just hypothetically speaking, I believe it will come down to this young man, SGA, Embiid, and Jokic. That's just my take right now. But that
Of
young man
course,
is balling right
that's of course bearing injuries to any of these three players. that
Yes.
Mizzle's mentioned because, as you know, unfortunately, injuries are a part of the game. But I mean,
Right now, big.
it's hard to argue how fantastic SGA has. But I mean, he came that way since he was a rookie,
Yes.
and I'm still trying to understand why the Clippers traded him. I'm still trying to ask that to this day, and I don't care
Right.
what answer the Clippers give me. I'm not convinced. I'm truly am not.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Agree.
back to the bleak week that is black week in the NFL for some coaches. So we do know that you're not wrong. you are you are definitely not wrong on that because if I'm Mr. Balmer, that well, Mr. Davidson, that answer explains everything. That is perhaps the greatest answer we have had in the 4 years of this show. That explains it all right there.
Like the Chargers are
Nothing
going
more
to charge.
else. Nothing else needs to be said. It's because they are the Clippers. And you're not wrong. All right. So, as we know, the first firing was, of course, Josh McDaniels. Then became Brandon Staley for the Chargers. Then he came into Riverboat Ron Rivera. Let go after 4 seasons with the Commanders. Got to the playoffs in his first year, but did not after that. What will that mean for Eric Bieniemy? Obviously, there are talks that Atlanta is asking permission to speak to him to be the head coach after Arthur Smith got fired. And yes, I'm all for it. Bieniemy has paid his dues long enough. He should be given the opportunity to be a head coach. Yes, I'm still trying to understand why Mike Vrabel was let go. 4 out of his 6 years.
Oh my goodness!
Four,
Yeah. Wow.
4 out of his 6 years, he made the playoffs. I know the last 2 years were not as vital as you want it to be, but I mean, I I don't get it. Unless Robert Kraft is going to fire the hoodie, and then Vrabel becomes the Patriots head coach, that's the only thing that can happen. That's the only thing I would put into consideration because I really don't know why Tennessee wants to fire him. But at the same time, the Titans have asked permission to speak to interim head coach of the Raiders, Antonio Pierce, as the Titans have a very high interest in him. The Raiders also had interest in talking to former Chargers GM Tom Telesco, which, of course, Miz was like, damn it, no. I mean, yes, he's drafted some good pieces. He's put together a good roster, but it didn't do crap. Hence why he's out of a job in Inglewood, California.
They're already in the
Wink
building.
Martindale, the Giants.
Building.
Wink Martindale, the Giants defensive coordinator. He steps down as Giants OC, so he is.
If that rumor is
say that
true,
again.
Did you hear how he walked out the building? If that is true, what I read, well, he was. I guess him and Dabo had they out, and he cussed him out walking out the building. Now I don't know how true that is. It could be
well.
I have to look more into that. So, but yeah.
Well, reading this from Jordan Renan on ESPN, he said, and you're not wrong. This is also from the New York Post. He said he said that Martindale said his piece, got up, slammed the door, walked out of the building. Now the Giants also fired their linebackers coach Drew Wilkins, defensive assistant Kevin Wilkins. Both came with Martindale from the Ravens when Martindale took the Giants' job. Now it is true the relationship between Brian Dable and Martindale was fractured during the season. So yeah, basically it seems like Martindale wanted out. Oddly enough, the Giants' last opponents, the Rams and the Eagles, spoke very highly of Martindale's schemes. So I don't think Wink Martindale will be out of a job for long.
No.
He'll be he'll be a highly claimed oddity for teams that do need a defensive coordinator.
I agree with you.
In
Get
addition,
Big to Atlanta. I second that. And we both second getting him a head coach. He should have been a head coach, and he will
correct.
make Ritter. I think he will make Ritter a good QB. And yeah, the Falcons will.
Jordan, 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 don't say that. Oh, don't. Oh boy. Oh, don't, Jordan, don't say that, buddy. don't,
Go to timeout.
don't do that.
You go to timeout for 10 seconds for saying that. Bad enough we had damn Josh McDaniels. No, just let Brady be where he is. Put the money, put some stock into the team, and just get us to another level that we're already striving to get. He can just be in the booth. He don't know. No.
Of course, this year Tom Brady will be in the Fox booth with Kevin
Don't already pump up his head more
Burkhardt,
than he already
which
needs to be. His nickname ain't Dub Cosell for no reason.
the only
Mike,
thing
here we
the
go.
only thing I will say unequivocally is I will not wear the doggone toupee. That is not something I will wear. I'll wear the yellow blazer from ABC Sports, but I will not. I repeat, I will not wear the toupee. We'll get to that in a second, Jordan.
Yeah,
We'll get to that in a second.
Yes, we'll get there.
The Chicago Bears decide that they will keep Matt Eberflus, but Luke Getsy, the OC, is fired, which means could that possibly mean that Josh Fields is staying? And if it is, could that possibly mean that Marvin Harrison Jr. might be the number one pick in the draft should he decide to come out the junior from Ohio State University? One thing about the Bears, and my good friend Mr. Tony Mancave Gaglione gave to me, he said that Eberflus has won over the locker room. The locker room is still vouching for him, which is a good sign.
Always a good thing.
Normally, if you still have the locker room, that means they are still buying what you're selling. So, and I mean, like I said, I don't think even the most diehard of Chicago Bears fans really thought they were going to win 7 games this year, and they end up winning 7 games. So, I mean, DJ Moore had a very good first year in Chicago. Herbert had a good year running the ball. Komet's very good at tight end. You traded for Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat's now your leader of the defense, and you gave him a nice extension. So now it's time to build up the offensive line to give Justin Fields some time to throw the ball, because when he has time, he has shown that he can throw the football. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And heck, people thought that Jordan Love was not ready to lead the Packers, but obviously he did something that Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did not do. Leads the Packers to the playoffs in his first year as the starter. Because remember, Favre did not did that when he became the starter in '92, and in 2008, the Packers went 6-10 in Rodgers' first season as starter. So, congratulations to Jordan Love. Also, very shocking that Pete Carroll is out as Seahawks head coach after 14 years. 14 years, 10 playoff appearances, gave the Seahawks their first Super Bowl win. But that does not excuse him for making the dumbest play call in Super Bowl history. You do not get excused from that. Certainly not on this show.
No.
Not on this show, because it
was stupid.
10 years later, I'm still trying to understand how that man does not get the ball to get into the end zone.
That would have won you the Super Bowl.
There's nothing you can say. You can go on every single podcast. You can go on, you would have won back-to-back.
Well,
and
we
there really
know
have
why.
been and there possibly could have been no Brady goat topic. I
We
know
know why. Why did
that would have
Marshawn
given
not get
Brady his fourth loss in the Super Bowl.
why did Marshawn not get the ball? You and I both know this. America knows this because who was going to be the Super Bowl MVP if he got that ball?
Marshawn Lynch.
Yes.
Marshawn
So,
Lynch.
oh, of course. So let's make Russell Wilson the hero. Let's put the ball in, let's get him to get up there and say we're going to Disney World or whatever we're going. I don't think Marshawn Lynch went backwards the whole Super Bowl. So you mean to tell me he couldn't get 3 yards? Come on now. Come on now, Pete Carroll.
Not to
Well,
mention
thank you. We
the fact
appreciate
that
that. Thank you very much.
he also coached at USC, and you and I both know how we feel about the Trojans of Southern California.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like him.
he knew USC was going to get some sanctions for
Hmm?
all the crap, all the crap they did. I mean, respect
Hmm?
respect what he did, but bye bye, and good riddance. So, as that stands right now, he's the head coach. He called the play. Russ easily could have called an audible to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. I don't care.
Mm, Marshawn Lynch
And
didn't go
yes,
back
that
to the
catch,
Super Bowl.
yes, that catch by that catch by Curse, and then the dumb play calling after that,
Hmm.
because after Curse made that catch, you look at Tom Brady's face on the sideline because it was in the same exact stadium that David Tyree made the helmet catch. Same stadium, the big toaster in Glendale, Arizona. And the way Brady looked at this face, it was like, why does it always happen in
Yeah,
this stadium in a
yeah,
Super Bowl? And Brady got bailed out by the dumbest play call by the Seahawks coaching staff in Super Bowl history. I don't care how
yeah.
you slice it. I don't
Yep.
care how you dice it. That that's like my team in Super Bowl 47 not giving Frank Gore the ball after Frank Gore gets you to the doggone 5-yard line.
Preach, brother. Preach.
Which I don't care what Greg Roman and or Jim Harbaugh tell me. Why is your future Hall of Famer? Why is the inconvenient truth not touching the ball at the 5-yard line when
Preach.
you are a power based running team?
Preach. Preach.
Well, I can name you 5 more Super Bowl catches that was better than David Tyree's. But I mean, David Tyree is just talked about it just because of the circumstance of where it was in the game. Well, there are certainly
Yeah,
better Super Bowl catches than David Tyree's for sure.
of
But
course.
it helped paralleled Eli becoming Brady's daddy twice in the Super Bowl. Something that Big Brother Peyton can't say. But
Indeed.
nonetheless, so now that gives you 7 job openings in the
Wow.
NFL, which right now, as it stands, it's the Falcons, the Panthers, obviously the Raiders, Chargers, Seahawks, Titans, and Commanders. Um, me
I'll say
personally, I think Eli is.
yes. Just beating Brady gets him in the Hall of Fame.
I'll say borderline. That's exactly my point. I say he's borderline with his numbers,
Yeah.
but because he beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl, he's probably going to get in. Just like,
There's the
for
Manning.
example, I'll
That's
say Joe
the
Namath.
Manning.
I'll say it like this: Joe Namath had more interceptions than touchdown passes, but because Joe Namath won Super Bowl III and turned the landscape of professional football, that's why Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame. And plus, he had star appeal and star credibility, and he was really the first. He's really one of the first marketable superstars in pro football. Was Joe Namath? He was everywhere, um, which gave it more credibility. So I mean, Eli will probably get in. I won't say first ballot, but because the fact that He beat Brady twice in the biggest game in the NFL. That's why he'll probably get in.
Yeah.
Because you look at that class of 2004 with Rivers and Eli and Ben and all that. Ben and Eli got 2 rings. So,
yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to put your team to the side. Out of the 6 vacancies that is opening for head coach, if you were an aspiring head coach, which job would you want to have?
Now we're taking me out being a Raider fan. Okay.
Correct.
Whew. I would have to say Inglewood. Inglewood and the Seahawks. I would say Inglewood and the Seahawks because of the potential of what they have there. I mean, the Seahawks are going to need a quarterback, but they got the running back. But with the Chargers,
yes,
they got the talent. The talent is there. I don't understand how they charge. I would like because you don't have to simply like really rebuild in Inglewood. You could put your own little pieces to it, but you have an outstanding quarterback. You got a good running back. You keep them happy. The tight ends are tremendous. We ain't even got to talk about the dude named Keenan Allen if he stays healthy, or even Mike Williams. Healthness is a key.
Correct.
But
the
Chargers is a little entertaining, and that would be my one. If I'll give you 3. Well, I gave you 2. Seahawks is 1, Chargers is 2, but the Falcons' job is very, very entertaining. Very. I would like to see what they would do with that too, because ATL, again, they got the running back. If you can get the right coach to get Ritter, they got the tight end. Hell, they even got Drake London. There's your 4 pieces right there. If you build in the trenches, get the offensive line. Their defense wasn't that bad. So Atlanta is not that bad either. So that would be my 3. And of course, I'm gonna be the bias pick right here. The Raiders. I mean, they already blocked Patrick Graham going for another defensive position, so they're only gonna let him go if he becomes a head coach.
That they did.
That means that it's trying to read whoever is going to take over the job. They have an opportunity to retain Graham. So that's like a breath of fresh air right there. But if he goes to be a head coach, kudos to him. So but yeah, and then
thanks for chiming in, Brian Ninja. We appreciate you.
Oh yes, thank you. And this we got something from Maverick with a yo. Here we go.
Greetings. Yes, that's a very good point, Jordan.
I've been preaching that. Okay, I'll say it again. Since you keep AP, Adams will be happy. Well, I don't believe Adams is going anywhere. Like I said, that contract is just too ridiculous. And yeah, I keep hearing about this Jets and Garrett Wilson changed his number, yada yada yada. Adams ain't going nowhere. He's wanted to come to Vegas. It's been his dream. So you guys can just miss me with him wanting to be out. But now the way we keep Jacobs is if we keep AP. If they keep AP, then we're fine. Ooh, well, yeah, he was a lost cause. I don't know how 102 receptions just disappear in your offense. I don't see that. But if they keep AP, Josh Jacobs stays. Let AP go get
facts, Hammer. Facts.
That is
a factual statement.
Let AP go get his offensive coordinator and keep Patrick Graham. And I believe we'll be fighting because you saw every game when AP was a coach, they were in it. And you always want to play. And that's the same reason what Dub just said about the Chicago Bears and keeping Eberflus. He won the locker room over. So if you got that's what you would get. But yeah, Chargers, Seahawks, and Falcons. Those are my three hot. As not being a Raider fan, those are my top three teams that I believe that is a hot spot because they got all got pieces that can be built up on.
That they do. That they do. So supposedly, the Chiefs and the Dolphins are going to be playing perhaps in the coldest playoff game ever.
Nope.
There are some
Nope.
there are some that are saying that maybe they should move the game to Indianapolis, um, just for safety precautionary reasons. Um, and unfortunately,
And I like Michael Mayer. I liked him I liked him when he was at Notre Dame. He's going to be a huge, tremendous talent for the Raiders for the future. And if they can get the right coach that allows them to use their tight ends, then we will be great. We missed him those last three games. I think he would have been a huge difference in Indianapolis. Even though Hooper played very well in towards the end, but I believe Michael Mayer would have made a huge difference for us in Indy.
so the projected weather for Sunday in Kansas City will be minus 1 degree. Hammer, you're
Damn
not wrong. Again, these are fans.
elements.
These are fans calling for this, not me per se. This is just some fans saying that they might want to do this. But
Because they don't want to sit out there in that damn cold like a person like me who gladly stay home with a nice heater and a bathroom I can get to without having to worry about the next person looking at me or trying to fight me to get to the restroom. No, I'm good. Too cold. Ain't enough liquor in the world to keep me warm to go watch a cold ass game in the below. Hell, I wouldn't even go if it's cold out. It's cold in California. Okay, I don't even want to go drop my kids off at school because it's so cold.
and
All right, cheers to you as well.
well, you're not wrong, Hammer, and you're not wrong, Jordan, because going from humidity to minus 1 degree is yeah.
The plate comfortable. uh,
Hammer define playing comfortable for Patrick Mahomes, or as some people like to call him, Kermit the Frog.
Indeed.
But yeah, that's minus 1 degree. I to all those fans that are gonna go to Arrowhead and sit in that, God bless you. You're way better than me because I'm like Mike Singletary. Can't do it.
And you know there'll be some people out there with no shirts on. I don't understand it.
Oh, you know.
No. 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm at the Ponderosa. Chilling.
like I said, what the late great Hall of Famer Bud Grant did back in 2015 in Minnesota, I was cold for him. But I mean, for him to walk out during the coin toss in that crazy cold in Minnesota with no coat on, just a polo shirt, you're just like, okay, bud. I mean, that is the ultimate sign of trying to intimidate a team by you walking out there in just your short sleeves and your polo shirt. But I mean, hence we will see how Tua Tagovailoa
I can agree with that.
handles that against the Chiefs. Now, which again, as we said on yesterday or earlier this morning show, we will, as again, you can only watch this game.
That's messed up.
Hammer, you stupid. Hammer, you stupid. Stop. You know what? Stop right now. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, well, James Harrison doing that's not going to scare me. Well, actually, it might scare me because I would think he's crazy. NFL, let's get out of here.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes.
Hammer, now that you're in here, there is a question I do want to ask you about your beloved Buccaneers on this upcoming Monday against the Eagles. Um
They're winning that game.
how do you like their chances against Philly, and what are the keys for the Buccaneers to get revenge against Philly from earlier this season? Go ahead and answer that and leave it back in the comments so we can show to the
And
viewers that are watching. To
also
which, by the way, for those that are watching,
coming from Facebook.
go
Also,
ahead.
again, we also have to come. We also have to stay on our Facebook comments too. If we're going to be doing the both platforms, we interact with both. I agree. KC does win because I don't see Miami coming out there playing pretty good. So I I don't want neither. I don't want KC to win, but I
Well,
think
you
they're
got
going to take.
you got comments on your side. Me, I don't. So
Okay,
whenever I get a
so
comment on my side, I but yeah, I mean he's not wrong.
no, nobody's.
However, um, I'm just trying to understand um how you could okay. Here we go. I like it. It's a revenge game, but if Todd Bowles can just call the right plays, meaning zones, and Dave Canales can call the right offensive plays, the Bucks will be victorious. Well, you're not wrong. Now, are you talking about the stadium drawings that were shown, or the actual concept of NFL Street, Jordan? Be more specific and let us know. Um, Now, again, the only way you can see the Dolphins and Chiefs is on Peacock exclusively, with the exception of the Kansas City and Miami markets that will be shown on your actual NBC local stations. But everywhere else, you'll
That
have to
is wrong.
subscribe to Peacock to watch that particular game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins on Sunday. Or I'm sorry, that's
That
on
is
Saturday. So 2 games
that is
Saturday,
wrong.
and you got 3 on Sunday. And of course, one. Some of them are good.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't understand. Um, like for example, my team. Where's the Golden Gate Bridge? There needs to be some Bay Area water around surrounding that and the Golden Gate Bridge. Um, but the other
But they don't play there.
concepts I do
They don't
like.
play
I
there.
really like the Bengals. I really like. I know, but that's well in this particular thing that they did. Um, they are back in the city, which where they should be all along.
Okay.
Yes, you're not wrong. Baker does have to play a big game. He does have to be huge, and definitely doesn't have to turn the ball over.
We
But
got to score more than
I
9 points.
think
I
the
tell you
biggest key might be Rashad White. I think Rashad White might have a big game simply because the Eagles' run defense has become very vulnerable as of late,
very
and
suspect.
you possibly can run on them. And if I'm the Buccaneers, I would try to utilize Rashad White in the run game as much as I possibly can to set up. Because I mean, when the running game is set up for Baker, he is very good with the play action fake, and he's also very good in play action, which is something noticeable when he has the run game going in his favor. For instance, when he had Nick Chubb, but for instance, yes, the Eagles' defense is depleted. Not to mention that you don't know which version of Jalen Hurts you're going to get because he's got
Yep.
that bad middle finger on his throwing hand. Um,
Oh yeah.
then
That
of
makes a big
course
difference.
the severity of the severity of and the severity of AJ Brown's injury, that's also going to make a huge difference because you don't know how effective he's going to be. Um,
Yep.
because remember, only one team. Well, there's that too. You're not wrong. You are definitely not wrong on that one. There's that in the background also. But I just think Rashad White might have a big game for the Buccaneers because he has ran the ball. The Buccaneers the last couple of games, not the Panthers game, but the last few games after that, they've ran the ball very well with Rashad White, and
Mm-hmm.
they've been patient with it. But like I said, I think the most, I think the, I think two of the three games on Sunday might be the highest rated games for that weekend because of course the Cowboys and Packers, but more specifically the fact that Matthew Stafford returns to Detroit for the first time since being traded, and it's in a playoff game. Um,
That's going to be exciting.
every range of emotions is going to be inside Ford Field in Detroit on next Sunday night. Good question, Jordan.
Yeah, I know mine.
Let's
I know
see.
mine.
For hmm, let's
Well,
see.
I'll tell you mine right now is going to go C.J. Stroud and Lamar
Go
Jackson.
ahead.
Lamar Jackson and C.J. Stroud.
You're not wrong. I mean, that's almost as unanimous. I mean, in the beginning, Bijan had a slight lead, but then CJ Stroud just came and took the bull by the horns and just
Yep.
said, "It's mine."
Yep.
Um, I'll probably have to say Lamar for MVP too. Um, just because. Um, let's see now. Defensive Rookie of the Year on defense.
Oh, that's a
Who would
good
I
one.
pick? Um, yeah, we're out the fence on that one.
Yeah.
Get back, get back to me on the Rookie of the Year. Yeah, there's
Oh,
also totally forgot
yes.
about
Yeah.
Puka
Yeah.
Nakua. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Almost,
It,
almost
no,
forgot, almost forgot about that young man. Can't forget about
that
him.
I can see
Um,
that. I definitely can see that for sure.
other than that,
Oh,
I
boy,
really don't know.
I wish Tay was on the show right now to see this.
Well, you're not
Um,
wrong. You're not wrong on that either. You're not. Um, yes, Davidson, you are correct. I think uh, as far as the Lynn Eshman Award, it'll probably go to CMC, just because CMC is your rushing leader champion. So, and oddly enough, just to think about the fact that that's only the second time a Niners running back has won the rushing title, and it's first since Joe the Jet Perry in '54. That's
yeah,
that's quite a long time. Well, I mean, they don't want to give Lyman that much credit, but yes, Lyman's really are MVPs of the offense because, of course, he protects the blind side and calls stuff out just like the center does. So, I mean, again, you're not wrong on that. But of course, just to recap, Black Monday in the NFL continuing. There is jobs open with the Panthers, the Commanders, the Raiders, the Titans, the Seahawks, and the Falcons. Who will go where? No, as hard as that may sound, Frank Gore never won the rushing title, and yet he's the third all-time leading rusher in NFL history. Go figure that.
crazy,
And
crazy.
that's on, and that's tearing the ACL in both your knees.
Wow.
I don't know. If anything,
No,
Hammer, I think Nick Saban is probably gonna go to a studio and do that if he wants to stay involved in football. Um, I don't think he's I don't think he's going back to the NFL. I just don't think he does. I
that's
really
sad.
think he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's done. Um, because I mean, really, Saban really has nothing left to prove, and if he doesn't want to go to the league, that's his prerogative. And yes, Frank Gore Jr. is coming out this year, um, almost like a carbon copy of his daddy with the way he runs. My goodness. Um, that just goes without saying, of course. Had a fantastic career at Southern Miss, and now looking
Yes.
to follow in his footsteps of his father, of course, the inconvenient truth. Um, it's hard to say why
Oh,
would he
that's a good question.
stay because you drafted Will Levis, and Will Levis has shown you some things. So it's, I mean,
We also forgot about the
it's
Titans.
hard. It's
New,
hard not to.
a new regime is going to change that, so he might be gone.
Yeah, he definitely might be gone. And the question is, what would that mean for Will Levis? That's a very good
Yes.
question because the previous regime drafted Will Levis. That is true. Frank was very good at getting his pad level very low. You are absolutely correct. And plus, Frank Gore was very, very good, just like Walter Payton on blitz pickup. He was very good at picking out the
Yes.
blitzer on blitzes,
Yes.
which is something might need to make a phone call for some recruiting. Are you trying to recruit Ryan Tannehill to the Patriots, Jordan? Because obviously you are not a believer in Mac Jones, obviously.
Oh boy.
But nonetheless, yeah. But nonetheless, we are very looking forward to much as to the playoffs and all of these matchups. I just, it's going to be very hard for some of these road teams to win on the road on Sunday, just because the elements that. Gotcha. Um, Shout out to Jordan Davidson, who was actually coming out for the spring this spring to play in the A7FL. So looking forward to seeing that. Um,
Nice.
the fall
Yes.
brawl is the fall brawl. The fall brawl is off this week. But oddly enough, we will reconvene on my brother's own personal holiday. Is when we pick up week 5 of the fall brawl for A7 on my brother's 41st birthday. So,
No,
um,
no, 12 years old.
looking
Get
forward
that
to
right.
that. Yes, you're 12 years old with a license, as you've been saying forever and a day for as long as I've known you in these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody could possibly might get the best out of him, it possibly might be Mike Tomlin. You could, yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, as we always say on the show, we never go against Tomlin. So
Never.
if that's the route, if that's the route Tomlin wants to go, that I mean, that's just the route that he will go.
I think they still
Now,
stick with Kenny.
you're not wrong on that either. So let me ask you this question involving your beloved Raiders. Have you heard anything into the regards of, okay, what decision or who they might want to keep to be part of the new regime in Las Vegas for your beloved Raiders?
It only just seems to be Patrick Graham right now by them blocking him taking on interviews for his same position, and they only want him to be a head coach. So I kind of don't see him. I hope that the Chargers don't lure him away, but no, it seems like they're focusing on the GM right now, and because there has been no request to talk to a head coach. So they're focusing on the GM right now. So I guess it's going to go GM first, and then it's going to go head coach. So nothing as of yet.
Nothing as of yet. Well, all right. So there you go. Um, of course, all this kicks off on Saturday with the first game. Well, they've been mixing those two. They've been mixing those two up, and when they have been mixed together, it has shown the effectiveness of the run game. Although I do agree, Warren should start, and Najee should be that bruiser on third and short situations. That could work. Even though Najee still has that home run Alabama, speed, so it is still possible. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hammer. You are correct, sir, on that quote. Yes, you are.
I agree with that one for sure. I don't see that. I don't see nothing going with that. They got to be wild to get.
You're correct. You are very much so correct. But that's going to wrap up this rapid fire edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show, number 152, as more coaching openings happen in the NFL. Well, I'll say this: if he comes off the practice squad and he can run with purpose, that will definitely help. That's going to definitely help the Ravens.
Yes. I agree.
I mean, if they utilize him right, if he picks up the offense quick and they utilize him right, that could be a problem, and that would even give Lamar Jackson more of a chance to just sit there and throw the ball because he has a bell cow of a man in Dalvin Cook. Anyhow, we appreciate all of our subscribers, whether if you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, or whether you're watching it on our Instagram page. We appreciate you guys for coming in, chiming in, and talking some sports with us because, as we say, we do this for y'all. We do this for your guys' entertainment. And, well, you don't have to tell Mizzle. Mizzle knew about this man when he went to Florida State. You don't have to tell him. But anyhow, we hope you enjoy all the playoff action that will be coming your way on Saturday, starting with the Browns and the Texans in Houston, and of course in the nightcap on Peacock exclusively the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Then Sunday, Bills Steelers on CBS, Packers Cowboys on Fox, and of course the Rams and Lions in primetime on NBC, and the Eagles and Buccaneers Monday night. Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you to all of our viewers for chiming in and commenting, be it here in the StreamYard, YouTube, and or Facebook. Oh boy, you really want to get Mizzle going, don't you, Jordan? Oh boy.
What I like, 4th Street quarterback. Get the hell out of here with that. Our 4th Street quarterback came in and used y'all. Hey, give us the benediction, Dub.
As always, we thank you guys for watching, to our subscribers on our page. We do this for y'all. Because, like I said, we wouldn't be doing this if y'all didn't find us entertaining. We appreciate that. To everyone that came in and commented and watched, we thank you. We appreciate y'all. Episode number 152 in the books. And as always, it's 5 o'clock, some damn where, and you've been watching the Mizzle Dub Show. You guys take care of yourself and each other. God bless y'all.